Hey guys, Marco here from PhoneDog.com, and in just a few short days, the iPhone X will turn 6 months old, and that is from the release date, November 3rd, not the announcement date. And I wanted to do a 6-month recap video, just kind of giving you my experience with the iPhone X. Has it been a good device? Has it been a bad device? Software-wise, hardware-wise, durability-wise, how has it held up over the past 6 months of usage? So let's go ahead and dive straight into it. All right, so here is my iPhone X after 6 months of usage. I have the silver color variant that kind of looks with the white back, stainless steel sides and bands there, and then that 5.8-inch diagonal AMOLED display at the front. And overall, it's held up pretty well. Now, keep in mind, I've had this thing in a case ever since day one. I've had it in an Apple case for a while, but I switched to a different brand case here. And overall, the device, in terms of the back, the glass, it's basically perfect. The stainless steel sides, well, it's pretty scratched up just from all the dust particles I got in between the case and the phone, and has the little tiny micro scratches, nothing that a jeweler's polish can't take out. And then the display, well, obviously, I currently have a screen protector on there, so nothing major there. Haven't broken anything, haven't shattered the display or the back. I have dropped this a couple times, mainly with cases. Again, nothing's really happened. Camera still looks good, no scratches that I can see on the surface of the lens. So overall, the durability is pretty good. This is a very premium iPhone, but it's also very susceptible to damage. So if you drop this thing bare on its front or back, it's probably going to shatter, so keep that in mind. So if you want an iPhone X, then you may want to invest into a case just to protect your investment of this $999 base price device. Now, I really don't want to dive into the hardware of the device in terms of the specs. If you're really interested in learning more about the iPhone X, I will make sure to link my review and also Bo's review of the iPhone X. But I really want to more focus on my experience with this device over the past 6 months, because this is a big deal for Apple. It's the first I guess, different model from their original iPhone line, right? Because, I mean, you know, they're selling the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus at the original iPhone price. This is a new premium category that Apple's never had before. And to make it short and sweet here, I guess not really sweet, is this has been by far the most buggy iPhone experience I've had in the last 10 years of iPhone ownership. iOS 11 on the iPhone X runs absolutely like trash. Oftentimes I unlock my phone and my screen grid is completely messed up, or sometimes the auto rotation's weird. I go into apps and it's stuck in landscape mode or portrait mode or vice versa there. And I mean, the software utilization on the iPhone X is absolutely crap. It's a joke. I mean, the Apple software team, especially on iOS 11 and the iPhone X, need to go back to school or something, because this does not feel like a finished or polished Apple product at all. This should be a premium device that runs absolutely fine every single time. And I know there's always gonna be little quirks and issues of software and stuff, but this seems super excessive for an Apple device, especially at a $1,000 price tag. I mean, that is an incredible price tag to pay for a device that sometimes just doesn't plainly work. In terms of the other experiences, like the display, the camera, I can talk about the display. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's the best iPhone display I've ever used. Great pixel density, great colors, great accuracy. The AMOLED panel is good. It does have that blue shift that AMOLEDs have, kind of like the Pixel 2 and stuff, but it's not very bad, and these viewing angles are actually pretty good. I mean, you can see it from a lot of oblique angles, which usually is not a good trait of AMOLED displays. On the flip side, the camera, the 12 megapixel shooter on the back, it's great. I mean, is it Pixel 2 good? Probably not. Great images, great HDR effects. Portrait mode is okay on the back. Again, it's a very good camera. 4K 60p is really, really good. I mean, iPhones do really good 4K video now. I mean, it looks really, really good with optical image stabilization built in there. And then that 7 megapixel front-facing camera looks also very good. So your FaceTime calls looks a little bit better. Selfies look better. I mean, I can actually use the selfie camera now in terms of a high-quality image at 7 megapixels. That's pretty big. almost as big as the iPhone 7 camera or iPhone 6 camera with an 8-megapixel camera. So very good cameras on both ends. Probably not the best in class in the mobile space today, but definitely best in class for iPhone. But you'll get exactly the same experience, albeit with the, I guess the FaceTime camera is different, but the same experience on the iPhone 8 Plus with that type of camera sensors and the lenses and optical image stabilization. Slightly less good experience on the iPhone 8. Other things to mention is the speakers are pretty good on the iPhone 10. You know, they're pretty loud. You have one bottom or downward facing, even the front facing speaker where the earpiece is. Charging is really good. It has built-in Qi wireless charging. So if you have a Qi wireless charger, you can charge it that way. That's how I charge my iPhone. I rarely ever plug it into anything else in my car or something. Other things to note with the iPhone 10 is, I mean, the battery life is, overall, for me anyway, it's been pretty good. I've heard a lot of mixed reports. I mean, some people will say it dies in a matter of hours. Some people say that I get through the entire day with battery to spare. I'm in the latter boat. I get through the entire day with battery to spare, even with pretty heavy usage. I get about 4.5, 5 hours of screen on time on an iPhone 10 before I get the low battery warning at 10%, because I ignored the one at 20%. And that's about it. I mean, the iPhone 10, it's such a weird device. It's a great iPhone. I mean, if you're an iPhone fanatic, you probably have an iPhone 10 in your pocket. But right now, we're in the midlife period because it's 6 months in, and 6 months from now, a new iPhone, probably a new iPhone 10 replacement will be upon us. So should you go out and buy an iPhone 10 if you haven't already? Probably not. At this point, I would say just wait 6 more months and buy the next iPhone. Or if you really need an iPhone today, I still recommend the iPhone 8 Plus over anything because you get the best battery life, really, you know, identical performance in terms of specs. You don't get Face ID, but you get Touch ID. You get a lot of great Apple features, and I think a little bit more polished package than the iPhone 10. One last thing to mention with the iPhone 10 here, and it's the notch situation. I don't care about the notch. It's there. It doesn't bother me at all. But what does bother me is the slow progression of the app developers adopting that, and honestly, the waste of space of just adding banners up there. Like Safari, okay? Like I made a rant on my experience video, and it was like, well, when I'm on Safari, right, I want the entire web page. Even I know, like, yes, it gets cut off there, but Safari still to this day is only a banner up there. You don't see the actual web content regardless of what you do. So that's been my overall thoughts and feelings of the iPhone 10 over the last 6 months. It's a great device. It's really, really bad software experience. I mean, that is the Achilles heel of the iPhone 10 is the software performance. It's absolutely trash. Which is a huge disappointment. I mean, I think lately Apple's software team has been absolutely trash. Not just on the iPhone side, but on the Mac side and iOS and iPad. And that's about it. I mean, the software is not very good. The hardware is beautiful. I mean, this is a great looking device. It's a great feeling device. Well built, great materials, great looks. Just hindered by its software experience, which is the soul of hardware. I mean, without good software, your hardware is meaningless because you just can't use it. I mean, unless it's an art piece, which it could be, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, if you have an iPhone 10, make sure to leave me your thoughts and feelings about your experience over the past 6 months with the iPhone 10. If you're an iPhone 10 prospective shopper, I think you should wait. Or you should go buy an iPhone 8 or 8 Plus, which is my recommendation again. And if you're an iPhone hater, then feel free to leave iShoot messages and comments below. Or hit me up on Twitter at phonedog_Marco. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, my name is Marco Hanna, and I'll catch you all in my next video. See ya!